Minister, we in Kildare have a number of these estates that have, through historic reasons, been developed, and very questionably whether the single standalone developer-led infrastructure should have been allowed for in the first place. Kildare County Council has submitted the list here, and if I can ask as to when a decision will be made around funding for estates, we have the village estate in Moon that at present has raw sewage flowing out in the street, and it's something that a number of constituents contact me on in the last number of weeks, but has been a long-standing issue in the village in Moon. Allen Court in Allen, the Paddocks in Ballytor, Leesnaree in Clogherinco, Moorhill Wood in Brannockstown, again a long-standing one issue there since a legacy issue from boom times. Red Hills Park in Ellistown and Mount Rice Mill in Monasterevin are part of a pilot scheme with Irish Water. But can you update me on where we're at with the Irish Water protocol regarding taking in charge, and in relation to the list that has been submitted by the Council, when a decision will be made on that in relation to the 31 million you have there? And then a final question, Minister, is if and when these estates are all maintained as we need them to happen as quickly as possible, or are upgraded, who then will have the responsibility for maintaining them into the future? Will that be the local authority? Will that be Irish Water? Thank you.
Just to confirm, I think Deputy Heydon managed to name all 10, but there are 10 applications by Kildare County Council, and they'll be judged on the criteria. Just where it's at, submissions closed in September. Kildare got in time with 10. An expert panel has been put together to judge those applications based on set-down criteria that's in the framework that was based on the pilot scheme that we've had in the past, and they'll make those judgment calls. We expect to be able to announce their decisions in early 2020. And that work can begin throughout 2020 as well. There was an envelope of money there for the next couple of years of 31 million initially for this. The number of estates that we initially thought would be in this category is probably about half of where we thought it would be, which is a positive. There's been a lot of change already over the last number of years through housing developments as well. But there is about 500 potentially estates out there to be addressed. This allocation of funding will go a long way to dealing with some of them as well, and hopefully will bring resolution, badly needed resolution, to residents who I believe were let down by previous decisions as well. It's not so much that a developer provided infrastructure was completely and utterly wrong. It was that there was no plan to join it back up, and there was no logic to it. There was no monitoring of it, and there was no quality assessment, and it's based down to how it was probably managed. Without any long-term thinking there as well. So that's what's been corrected here now, and there is methodology set out there how to judge that and how to correct that in the future as well.
Very much for that, Minister. So, look, I agree. It's the lack of management, it's the lack of monitoring here. I always feel, even, and it's lessons for us to learn in terms of as we continue further development around our country. This time, when I look at our local authorities and the staff they have allocated in different areas, is there enough staff in the compliance section to be overseen? And is this also a key issue for Irish Water in terms of their resources to look at the compliance levels to make sure that where we have developer-provided infrastructure, that it has been implemented in and put in where it is. So, look, as I say, in places like Moon, Allen, Ballytor and Clogherinco, we have very significant challenges there that people in these estates are finding on a daily basis. But when hopefully we can get the funding through this scheme to address a lot of these problems, where then, Minister, do you see the longer-term plan being? Where is Irish Water in relation to a taking in charge protocol, and who will have responsibility for the ongoing maintenance of these when they are taken back in charge? Are they in the charge of the Council or Irish Water?
Again, in most cases, in the high percentage of cases, Irish Water are involved in the solution, because they can be quite easily, the infrastructure can easily be tapped into the Irish Water network and so on, and so they'll be in charge of that as well. And again, in other cases, there's some rural areas which are a little bit more difficult as well, but individual solutions have been found as well. I think the key part here is that we use the pilot scheme to enable the knowledge of this as well. The Irish Water local authorities are fundamental to the solutions, and the funding is allocated to the local authorities to carry out this work. So naturally they'll be overseeing the work and in charge of it as well. In fairness to the future and the present, planning has completely changed in the last 7 or 8 years since we came into government in terms of how it's managed, how it's regulated, and this cannot and would not be allowed to happen again. And I'll be very confident of that as well, because we made sure to change that with regulations and changes we made to how we approach planning and how we approach development. And in relation to servicing future lands, there's proposals on Minister Murphy's desk which will be announced quite shortly as well in relation to that relationship with Irish Water and developments of the future as well. But also we're looking to a much greater joined-up approach with local authority development plans and Irish Water's spending plans as well, to make sure that they're joined up together. But you can't now have development without infrastructure. That doesn't happen anymore.